All right, ladies and gentlemen, folks, we have just two teams left, and they are awesome teams. This next team deserves a special shout out. Holden here had a baby yesterday. Can we give him a round of applause? Please join me in welcoming Fable out.
Good evening. At the risk of dating myself, this whole project started about 20 years ago. I was in the Peace Corps, and in the Peace Corps, I realized that I wanted to seek out the threads that join us as humanity, that there are these things that we all share. And if we can find those things and we can weave them together, I think that we can create a better world. And so I went out into the world. I worked on 6 continents. I fought Ebola. I worked with refugees in Greece. And all of that sort of led me to this conclusion. And it's electricity that creates endless wealth for the rich and an endless rat race for the poor. And so we can take this and invert it. Maybe we can change the world. Maybe we can make the whole world a better place by breaking down the thing that has created so much wealth inequity. So I did what anybody would do. I started a company in the middle of an Ebola outbreak in Liberia. And so when I did that, nope, it's not clicking through. I am an MBA student, so that's why I'm a little bit older than some of the other people here. And this is the first village that we ever gave power to. It's called Quentin. It's a remote part of Liberia. And one of the things that struck me in when we gave the power out, there's a myriad of reasons why this was a wonderful thing for the people there. USAID had paid for it. But the one thing that struck me is one woman came up to me and she said, "This is great," because I was scared of the things that happen in the dark. And now that you've brought light, everybody knows that dark things can't happen in the light. And I found that really touching, that's really this level of safety and security is what electricity brings. But it's not the only thing that electricity brings. Oh, there we go. Electricity can be the backbone for a better world. These are solar-powered smart villages. And what a smart village is a village that's connected to the internet, a village that has a backbone of renewable power. And with these kind of villages, we can get incredible engagement. We can get, we can lift out people out of poverty. We can lift millions of people out of poverty by creating equity and equality at the village level. And so the problem is that most of West Africa is dark. So before we can even start about creating these smart villages, we have to talk about electricity and how we're going to get people electricity. And so Liberia is one of the poorest and least electrified countries in the world. We ended up there because I was working on a documentary, and we started our company during the Ebola outbreak. And one of the big problems with Liberia is not that the money isn't there. The problem is that these international projects, which are the ones that pay for the electricity in these countries, waste millions of dollars because they're disconnected. And things aren't connecting on the ground. And how do I know that? Because we're the company that went in and picked up these projects after they failed. We're the company that, it's not working, that would go in and fix these projects. And we realized that the answer wasn't something I'm going to come with. I'm not going to come into your community and tell you. Liberian people already had the answer. All over the country, there are mini grids. And what these mini grids do is they fill in the gap. It's as simple as a person like you or me who just bought a generator and started running power to our friends. They're all over the country. But the problem is this dirty, dangerous electricity, and it just deserves to be better. And the way that we can make it better is by targeting these individual grid operators. What they can do that everybody else is able to do is they can run grids and keep customers. And so we approach them and we say, "Hey, listen, you're doing a great job. What we want to do is keep your existing customer base, but take your grid and flip it green. Make it strong enough so that people can run refrigerators, and make it safe distribution so that people aren't going to get electrocuted and fires aren't going to start." And so who are we? Well, this is what I like to call a startup 7 years in the making. I've been working in Liberia since the Ebola outbreak. We've done $700,000 with business. We've worked with some of the biggest vendors in the world, the Army, USA. And we're a mixture of locals and international. So we're on the ground. We understand the tribes. We understand the way things work in Liberia, but we also can see things from 35,000 feet. We can engage with people like World Bank and USAID, and we can fill this gap. And we know that because we've built a lot of the grids already in the country for these other organizations, only to watch these grids fail. That's where I got this sense of frustration, was watching all of these grids and all of these people's hopes just go down the drain. Oh. And the market's big. And Liberia is one of the least electrified countries in the world, but still has been talking about the sustainable development goals that the UN has, and wants to electrify 35% of the world population by 2030, and only 2% has been electrified. The World Bank has already committed massive sums of money. We met with them when they were there, and the guys at the World Bank said to me, we're looking for people like you. We need people that are coming in and filling these gaps. The mini grids, there's hundreds. They don't even know how many there are all over the country, but they estimate that they serve a large swath. And at that price, 300 per home, it's a steal. We're talking about lifting people out of poverty. We're talking about setting a path that people don't have to go backwards. They have power, and now we can add these other value generating proposals. So how do we make money? Always a great question. It's pretty simple at this point. This first stage, before we get to those smart grid and smart villages, is we're simply just doing construction. We talk to international donors and we construct grids. We've done it all over Liberia. The difference is we engage with the community, we engage with grid operators, and we create a partnership. And that's the secondary way we make money. Going forward, we keep a small piece of each grid, and we get a piece of that profit that over time, and as we expand into more grids, will become a substantial line. And then our future. As the grid comes online, as electricity comes in, as the internet comes in, technology companies will come in. People will want the data, Google, different app operators, and we'll act as a partner with the communities to help engage these international donors in a way that can create some data sovereignty for Africans. A big part of what we're doing is going to places at the frontier and trying to re-engage people in a new way.
I have to jump in there. Let's stop for Holden. We'll
Thank
be able to give you time to answer more and Q&A.
Cool, great.